Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Had a lot of fun. Tuesday's sort of like I don't know, what do you call it? Freestyle. Brian just sits there and blabs away for an hour or two. Um, I was you know I don't know whether it's a good sign or it's a bad sign, but NFTs and the whole DeFi craze seems to have spilled over into broader market and broader society. Um, Maybe a little bit to the point of excess. I'm not sure, but I was sort of tweeting out earlier today. I was a little disgusted to hear about things like people selling tweets for certain amounts of money, obscene amounts of money, and how those large sums just floating around and people just so willy nilly about spending millions of dollars. That in itself is a fantastic analogy of price inflation. And there are some people that actually believe. I remember Larry Kudlow. He used to be a popular guy within the Trump administration. That is actually how you define inflation: is the velocity of money. You got a lot of money in the system sloshing around with nowhere to go. What happens? Houses. All of a sudden, the prices start going up dramatically, and it's a huge asset. And voila. You have price inflation. Later on, I came to see that the proceeds of the sale were being planned to be donated to charity, which I think is a good thing. So hopefully, those people that do make absolutely obscene amounts of money through this, just remember, half of your job. And of course, none of them are going to be watching this video. But half of your job, if you ever do, all you 1%, is to actually try and take care of your fellow man and woman. With regard to the broader market, my impression of the amount of risk in the marketplace, if everything was just left to its own, is it would be staggeringly high. This would be like the whole damn market's just teetering on the brink, and all it's going to take is somebody to sneeze and the whole fucking thing collapses. But we live in a funny, fugazi world where basically the whole market and the whole system is built on debt. And the people that run this system have basically said, look, we're more than happy to take on more debt just to make sure everything's fine. We're not going to screw you on the lending side. But at the same time, too, market rates are going up. People are taking advantage. They are borrowing. Demand is now less than supply of debt. And prices are now starting to go down, which means that the rates that you pay for that borrowing are starting to go up. And that's exactly what should happen through these Jupiter-Saturn cross, generational shifts. Basically, that cycle is about once every 70, 80 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. And the last pivot that we had was a interest rate cycle peak, and that was at the Jupiter-Saturn cross of 1980, 81. And that, of course, was a huge generational pivot from the greatest generation to and they call them the greatest generation, silent generation, whatever you want to call it, to the baby boomer generation. So, interestingly enough, it's the exact opposite end of the interest rate cycle, but we definitely went through a pivot, no doubt about it in my eyes. So now we pretty much are now going to get used to this idea of more debt, more debt, more debt. Supply is going to overwhelm demand. Prices for debt instruments should gradually fall here to begin with. It's tough to get rates to move dramatically right away in 35 years. that's when we'll be going through like double-digit interest rate cycle moves. So nothing to really worry about too much right now. But at the same time, too, you know, sharp movements in price can shock the market. And, you know, with the assumption of a consistently lower interest rate environment, things like some equity valuations can get pushed to probably unsustainable levels if the cost of borrowing changes, which I think it has. So we might see some rotation through this period. I think that's probably to be expected. Interestingly enough, though, you know, like from the broader market perspective, brick and mortar, especially in this COVID world, are you going to get any growth out of that part of the world? No. You know, we're probably going to get growth out of price increases for goods. That's not really great growth. That's, you know, that's inflation adjusted growth. It probably comes in almost flat. There's going to be sort of velocity of money sort of growth, you know, housing pricing increasing, that kind of stuff. But on balance, I think the wind is at our face, not at our back. So problem is, though, of course, we live in a market where the market must grow. So if the market must grow, then the areas that are growing, they need to be just like steroid injected, moonbeam. You know, they've got to make up for all the other crap that's just not growing. So how does that look? You know, what I think ends up happening is if you look at like broader stock indexes, kind of just going to bump along here. And ironically enough, I actually like that same sort of thinking with things like, you know, major cryptocurrencies. Where, you know, these things they've been pretty well fully valued. I mean, hell, if you look at it, like, you know, just look at a stock chart. Oh, yeah, it's nuts. You can't say that this stuff's on sale anymore. Is it realistic to look for another move like this higher? I don't think so. If anything, what happens is this muddles along, and then all of a sudden, boom, the next shoe drops. In a weird sort of way, you can almost see that this is kind of like it's magnifying itself over time, eh? So notice the first move was here to here. And the next move was here to here. I bet you could actually figure out what the sort of geometric progression of this is. And why do I get the impression it's probably 4.669? So, you know, if you could somehow figure out whatever this geometric series is, because clearly you can see bigger, bigger, bigger. I mean, why shouldn't we expect that the next one's going to be some sort of geometric progression? Right? Boom, boom, boom. So, unfortunately, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Also, too, you know, and keep in mind, I don't know where the hell this comes in. Maybe it's something like that, right? Maybe we still got quite a bit more to go. But I've been hearing a lot of people say that they expect sort of 2021, with all the Fed, free money, I mean, the economy is going to just go crazy here. Hyperinflation, all that kind of talk. But I'm really worried that a lot of people are actually now expecting 2022 just to be a train wreck. So interestingly enough how that kind of looks, it wouldn't surprise me, folks. Be prepared. So, you know, how long does this take to actually roll over? Who knows? And what I do find interesting is you can see these peaks, they are very, very difficult to trade. What I would say is, you know, what actually forms these bottoms, it is the Fed and the central bankers coming in and guaranteeing the market, unlimited credit, U.S. goes into big debt to mortgage its future, blah, 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 blah. That's the kind of signs that you need to see to go, okay, probably got a base to work with, and then we can start climbing the wall of worry again. It's the middle of March. You know, could we maybe just muddle along here? We do have taxes and stuff that are due. I think the middle of May they postponed in the U.S. I think Canada's right on schedule. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's probably, you know, some tax bills to be paid. So you know, like broader market, I can't see this growing dramatically. I mean, maybe you get a period like this. What would that be? That's 3,100 up to 3,300. So that's like 6, 7, 8%. I suppose I could see that. But I don't think you can expect like dramatic outperformance there. So where does the dramatic outperformance come? Believe it or not, actually, I think it's a lot of sort of technology. And, you know, cryptocurrencies is right in the crosshairs. The only problem is that, you know, sometimes they say markets move too far too fast. So, you know, the analogy, and I was chatting with, we had on one of the principals from Ubic on this site recently, a guy I used to do some shows with on Coinage years ago, Alex Sturck, and, you know, we were kind of joking. I thought it was, it's kind of funny you make this connection after a while. I know a lot of people in the crypto universe are sort of making this connection, and have been. But I kind of like the idea that crypto right now feels very similar to me to the 2013 cycle. And we were sort of joking, you know, 14, ugh, and then 18, ugh. I mean, like literally 1 year to 1 year, 1 year to 1 year. So what are the odds are that 22 is just bleh. But the good part about it, of course, is that that's way out there. What the hell does this look like between here and here? I don't know. Fortunately, I don't think it looks like that. Sorry. It might, but who knows? We all have our opinions. I actually really do like the idea like 13. Remember, you know, I mean, hell, we're only into March here. I mean, where the hell's the beginning of the year? It's there, right? Just, and even worse, you know, something like Ethereum. Where, oh, I thought I had it on here. It's one of these. Well, that is interesting, like Ethereum Futures. We got this big old gap down here. I think we probably need to do some work down here. That's in the short term, but maybe I have it up here. Yeah. Kind of like that. I mean, gee whiz. You know, like this is the beginning of the year. Vroom, straight up. Can we maybe take a little bit of time here and just sort of clean things up? It doesn't necessarily have to be a new bear market. But I kind of like the idea of just the market going sideways for a bit and sort of going back to that 2013 analogy. I don't think it's going to be this sharp, but you never know in this crazy game. Just be aware of that. But this 2013 analogy, I kind of like this where, you know, notice that's like, what, April 10th, right? So the first week of April. And hell, I mean, we might just do something like this. Woohoo! One last blow off top. I doubt it, but you never know in this crazy game. But I've said this before. You know, when this thing does correct and we dump down into reload zones, you know, if Ethereum plays out like this, man, that is the buying opportunity of a lifetime. Said it before, say it again, and if anything, you know, just the price of Ethereum at the levels that it's at right now, I've joked that, you know, last time in this cycle, actually this is Bitcoin, right? So on the Ethereum chart last cycle, oh, that's still Bitcoin. Get your head on straight here, Brian. Where are we here? Where's that at? Oh, there it is. last cycle, Mr. Vitalik got a little upset that people were making his supercomputer so expensive. Thought it was really interesting. I listened to some Ethereum sort of, speaking head recently, and he said, "Well, we're not allowed. We're not. I don't know whether he said we're not allowed to, but he said they gave up the expression of the supercomputer, and it just goes to show I'm so out of touch. But I don't know why they wouldn't still call it the supercomputer, but oh well. I do find it interesting that, with the amount of chatter about these NFTs, and I mean, it's rampant now. I tell you, whenever you see things like shares in companies linked to non-fungible tokens soar, you see news headlines on, major outlets like Yahoo Finance. That's not a good sign. This is the public coming in. The great part about it for TRIers, and of course we love to see this, is you see names like DLPN. Well, actually TRIers, and specifically Kevin here, and we give him definitely a big hats off and kudos here today on the show. He told people about this name last fall. Said, hey, this is a name I'm super interested in. So you tell me, Kevin was coming in here when nobody's interested in this thing. How do you think Kevin's feeling today? And the sad part about it is, what do you think the public is doing on a day like this? They're buying. Do you think Kevin's buying here? Sure as fucking hope. I hope not. I don't think he is. I think he was taking some profits. I don't know. Kevin, you want to tell people? Were you ringing the register here today? I don't know whether he's here or not. Is Kevin here? No, I've talked too much. He's gone to sleep. It's okay. Actually, we have a TRI.
I made it.
Hey, there he is.
All right. I just didn't have my mic set up, so.
Right.
No, I was taking profit for sure.
Good for you. I mean,
not buying.
I mean, that's rockstar fucking trading, right? You want to subscribe to Kevin's newsletter if he's buying shit here and selling it here. But I guess the point here that I'm worried about right now is these are in the spotlight. There's another one. This one's out of Hong Kong. Here's another one that Kevin was touting here. I mean, Kevin, what a fucking stock picker. This is ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Worst part about this one is it's got the structure that I like. It's here in Canada, and it's in my goddamn city, YVR. This is the call letters for my for the Vancouver airport. Why am I not in this goddamn stock? A lot. I don't know whether it was just Kevin or I think there's a few other people on TRI that rode Kevin's coattails. I mean, Kevin is one hell of a stock picker here, folks. Just beautiful. It's great to watch him in action. It's just what we do at TRI, make money from trading. So congratulations, Kevin. These guys, this thing isn't pumping specifically a blockchain, but some of the names that we are trading right now, and of course he's taking huge profits on, they're moving because of this sort of this is getting a little bit ridiculous. Like I said, what's the sign of ridiculousness when some guy is selling a tweet? I mean, just a screenshot of a tweet. It's an NFT for $2.9 million. I mean, holy shit. That's ridiculous. So, actually, I put out an appeal to the audience where we had a gentleman come on the site a while ago. Years and years ago, I guess. And he did up a bunch of fun sort of, and I consider them art. I think they're all really cool. And we're wondering, how the hell do we NFT this? And let's use the proceeds to buy Liam a house. So, because Liam needs a house, and gee whiz, they're damn expensive here in the Lower Mainland. So, if anybody out there watching this today can figure out how we NFT this thing and get $2.9 million for it, great, we can go buy a house for Liam. But anyway, probably nothing will come of it, but it's kind of a funny anecdote. Sure, I'd love to NFT that. I think that would be cool, but it's certainly not going to get $2.9 million. Anyway, and actually, you know, we had this is one of Kevin's buddies, and I don't know whether I'm supposed to show that on screen. Probably not supposed to show his name. Sorry, Chris. But anyway, he's got cool hair. You saw. He came out and tried to school us on these NFTs and get all us up to speed. And of course, we have other people on the site who have so much fun trading all this stuff. Astronaut Dave turned Farmer Dave turned Astronaut Dave turned Galactic Dave. He has a great old time trading DeFi on the site. And of course, David Eisner, I think he's doing pretty well in the DeFi space. Sjord, of course, is having a blast. So lots of people at TRI sure are taking advantage of this. And I think if you're going to make money, you got to go where it's hot. And let's call a spade a spade. This stuff is ridiculous right now. The only problem here is, for God's sakes, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. You have to find tomorrow's story. Don't go buying yesterday's story here and thinking you're going to make $1 million, because frankly speaking, this is pretty damn risky. Look how volatile this thing is. You could easily see this thing right back down against the lows tomorrow. And like some of these other fluffy fluffs, like this one here, this is just all gaps. So just like we see on, you know, like the worst part about it for people like that who chase that riot. Oops. I mean, what are they going to do now? This thing's obviously not in NFTs. It's now actually carved out one hell of a solid top there. And just like those NFT stocks you see, just look at all these gaps here. So this is you know, I put a tweet out yesterday saying this is horrifically dangerous. I sure hope the story ends well for these people. But in a weird sort of way, if you're not NFT, well then screw it. You're out of there. Your yesterday's story, yesterday's news. Not interested. So you're going to play this space. Try and get in on the bottoms. Don't chase, or you might just get... What do they say? Left holding the bag. So, you know, for something like Ethereum right now, with this inside bar reversal confirmed, there's nothing for me to do here. And I hate to say it, for, you know, like we had some fun talking people through, you know, lower time frame setups as 4-hour charts, and where these botters are working away and this little double bottom guy's working away. And then we had a new bot come in. Actually, I think we were talking about it first here. And just the wickedest battle. And you can see the French Foreign Legion, their lines broke last night. Momentarily, but they did break. So, at the very least, you know, especially like investors, and I kind of put tweets out to this effect earlier in the week, although I have no idea where those charts are. Maybe that's this one. Yeah, so this is a bit risky. I think what's probably prudent here now is kind of that, you know, we just got to let the dust settle. I think the tweets that I put out is probably, I thought I had that image in front of me, but I don't. I wonder what I do with that. Darn. Oh, wow, you can see I made a total mess of these charts. I was actually having some fun talking with the kids about currencies. Ooh, wee, look at that failure on gold. Ooh, look at the oil coming off here. And, of course, I'm still long U.S. dollars. I was squawking with the kids. I love this U.S. dollar. Jesus, so strong. Strong like bull! And if it can't go down when it's supposed to go down, what's going to happen when it's supposed to go up? Look out. That thing looks like it wants a hell of a lot higher. That was probably all the talk around here. Yeah, I don't like the euro. Euro looks really bad here. And I think the Europeans don't like the euro. They don't like the way that it looks here. They're getting a little bit upset. Anyway, totally off topic now. I think I still have all these levels on here. I might have. Oh, I remember what I did. Yeah, okay, so forget that. Okay, so I wanted to show you was... And I'm just sort of rambling today. I know I was joking with Kevin earlier. I know there's something I'm supposed to be doing, but I guess I'm kind of just procrastinating and avoiding doing it. Because today's daily brief was kind of ranty. Not ranty, but just rambly, I guess is probably the better expression. So there's Kevin. Jesus Christ. Have you ever see this shark on the motorbike with the crown? Respectfully refer to him as the Duke of Berkey. And don't get in his way, because he's just, he doesn't have time for you punk-ass bitches. Look at that fucking trade. What a boss. And that's not even his good trade. His good trade is that other one, that LQD or whatever the hell it is. Damn. So actually, I was impressed to see that he's actually going to donate it to charity. So that made me happier. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I really did not like this at all. It really bummed me out. I don't know. What else can we talk to you guys here? Remember, there's that riot, right? Remember yesterday I put that tweet out. I was like, oh my God, this has got disaster. And now it's like down here. Ugh, try and avoid this kind of stuff like the plague, please. Don't touch that stuff. So, NFTs, insanity, where this orgy ends, frankly, I don't know. The problem here with this stuff is there's no value to any of this. It's all, what do you perceive the value? And of course, you know, if you're going to use Ethereum, it's like, holy shit, it's expensive to do these damn things. I thought it was funny, you know, this guy being interviewed. I love his line. It all ends in tears, probably. Because remember, folks, that's usually how these things end. Right now, though, we're in the fun period. And really, I think that this fun period, I don't like going and buying Ethereum or Bitcoin or something like that. But a lot of these other altcoins, oh my God, this is just like the sweet spot. I mean, you just go through them chart after chart after chart. They're just insane. I mean, here's my fun little one. I've talked. Holy Jesus, look at it. It's moving up 215 now. You want to see where I think this thing's going? Like, Sjord, he picked one. And I think he's going to get stinking rich. Oh, look at his LTOs going now, too. So, like, this is one of his. I mean, look at that W. I mean, this isn't Bitcoin. This isn't Ethereum. If you bought that W, you'd be pretty damn happy. How about his Luna? I mean, that's insane. Jesus Christ. Look at that move. Hit a foggy level, so maybe in a 9 as well. Maybe this thing's just got to take a bit of a pause here. And actually, in the daily brief today, we were talking about, you know, Colin's pump chaser zone. And interesting how that's going to be against a previous foggy level. So, you know, here's an example where maybe you do want to try and hunt a setup on this thing. So you're just going to be nice and patient. Really no hurry whatsoever. And just see if we can get some sort of base down in here, you know. And away you go. Of course, Brian likes his third low, bots, blah, blah, blah. You know, something like this. That would be pretty good. We saw that through here. But for now, I think this guy's done. But this one was one of mine. And I've always liked this guy. I've been touting him forever. Komodo. And ironically enough, you know, it's the same logic, no difference whatsoever. I could very easily see, you know, over the next 6-8 months, this thing's gonna work its way up to like, you know, $9-10. I mean, like at $2, man, that's okay. That's like what, 3x, 4x. But I'm like long from down here, right? So from 50 cents or so. So this is gonna be like my 20xer. Everybody's got to have one or two of them in your basket, I suppose. But, man, there's so many of them. I mean, look at this beautiful W. So this is the market state. It's this part of the market. And, of course, if you can somehow brand your name. Somehow DeFi, NFT, I don't know. I mean, sis, man, I've been talking to you guys about this one forever. Look at that beautiful W. I mean, just absolutely textbook. So I do like the idea that like 13, like 17, like 21. Oh, interesting. Look how we hit that level. It's probably consolidation. Don't chase. Maybe let a consolidation come in for looking for our next move up to this level. That wouldn't surprise me. I've always liked Mr. Sun, but he's a funny character. But look at that W. It's coming in just as we speak. It's right there. So, get out there. Oh, I love Geo. Geo, you got to be on Trex, though, or I don't know how you get this thing. But I absolutely love that. And, you know, like I said, for the big boys, it's sort of like, you know, we're getting anecdotal evidence that, you know, the bull's kind of running out of steam. Maybe you're still a bull. Maybe you want to play Bitcoin to the upside. I kind of think that's an old story. And, you know, it's time for these little guys to have their day in the sun. That's sort of the way my impression, you know, like this Ubic is technically, it's like an Ethereum clone. So everything wonderful that Ethereum does, theoretically Ubic does. Do I go in and buy there? Yeah, it's kind of a tough level. But I could very, very easily see this thing substantially higher down the road. In fact, actually, I remember I always put this guy and Storage. That's another one that I think is doing pretty well here recently. Yeah, oh, there it goes. In the same category. They're not the same creature, but they sort of remind me of the same story. The time of getting involved in crypto. And there was one other one that I was thinking of, but I can't remember. You know, like library credit, CVC. You know, I like, these are all sort of old classic names from that last cycle. I don't think there's money to be made. And it's just really sort of like, you know, when's their day in the sun? Remember Algo? It looks like he's already moved up a bit. Steam, this one. What's so funny about Steam is I've got the Steam Bucks, right? The stable coin, and it's gone up like 5x, 10x. I mean, it's ridiculous. So get out there and have some fun, people. Hunt them W's. Don't take no wooden nickels. And I think the best way to approach this is location, indicator confirmation, and then price structure to frame the trade risk. And get out there and have some fun. But for heaven's sakes, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. And I don't think things like Ethereum and Bitcoin are face ripping up anymore. I think they're kind of in consolidation kind of phase. That's this kind of thing. We broke. If I was bullish, I have to wait for a new 3 higher lows. I'm curious as to what happens here at the apex. This is where the market should have broken. So I wonder whether this was maybe even a head fake. We might bottom and then actually start heading higher. I doubt it, but you know, in a trader's life, you just sort of always have to be open to whatever the market's whims are, right? Don't get into the habit of predicting what's going to happen. Just go with the flow. Yeah, you can see a small cap market's not overly happy. I mean, you better be in a hot, sexy part of the market, or it could be a tough slog. All right, blah, 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 blah. I don't know whether you guys got any value out of that, but Jesus, oil market continues cascading lower. Can't even get a reload zone counter-trend rally there. Hey, bonds are actually up. Mr. Bond King, he'll have a good show today, so that's good for him. And there's your shitcoin. Shitcoin's actually coming right up against Mr. Foggy, saying, I don't think so, sir. I'm not done. So that's you know, if anything, that's a great testament. Bitcoin, Ethereum kind of topping out, and yet shitcoins just went and surged to new highs here. So there's further anecdotal evidence that that's the hot part of the market right now is the poop. So enjoy the poop. Poop tastes great. Poop's good for your diet. Not really, but everything in moderation, right? As they say in life. All right, everyone. Have yourselves a great day. I suppose we'll see everybody. Well, what day is today? Tuesday? Oh, we got Kevin. I got TRISOF tonight, so we might have a bunch of new ideas from Kevin. Kevin will do daily brief presentation tomorrow if we're lucky. So hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of new stuff to be talking about tomorrow. All right, everybody. Have yourself a great day. All the best, and bye for now.